Yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to the Epic Entertainment Critics. I am Antoine,
I'm still James.
and also special guest, his dog. What's the dog name?
Spike.
Okay, also special guest, Spike. We got
Uh,
a review. We got a review of Avengers Endgame. We both went to see. We both have seen it. Separate times, but we both seen it, and we are going to do a spoiler discussion after the review. So we're not going to spoil anything at first. Then we're going to do the review. Then we're going to do a spoiler discussion. But before we do that, got an intro. Oh shit, that's the sports intro. All right, we back. Yeah, my mistake. I threw the sports intro up there. But we're streaming live. Shit happens. Let's move on. All right, Avengers Endgame. Is this like the 22nd, 23rd movie in Marvel? It's in the
I,
20s, I believe.
yeah, it's got to be. It's got to
so
be.
Endgame was pretty much 10 years in the making, and the question is, was it worth the 10-year wait? Was it worth it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking it was worth it.
Hell yeah, it was worth
Yeah,
it. And
you know,
you could have not have.
I, I think like a lot of folks like keep waiting. It's like at some point this Marvel stuff ain't gonna pay off. Y'all gonna feel like you wasted your time. I'm like, nah.
I know if they would have said, "Hey, in 2008," they was like, "Look, in 2019, we got you." I'd have been like, "Man, if you don't get your ass 2019, man, get your no. I'm not. I do not want to look at no movie
Man.
10, 11 years in the making and be like, yeah, that's when we really gonna make it pay off in 2019. Man, get out of here, dude.
And
But
like what makes it so crazy is like every time Marvel does one of these is like, no, this is what we've been planning.
I
We were
know.
always getting here. It's like, how was y'all already always getting here? Like, if you pan back through each movie, it's like, oh, this is where they set up this movie. This is where they set up this movie. It's like,
Dude,
how y'all have all this planned out?
everything works so perfect on how they built it. They gave perfect homages to everything, dog. And I was blown away, bro. For real. I was like,
Yeah,
dude, I have not felt emotions in a movie in a long time. Man, because we've
yeah,
seen so many movies that when it's about a book, same old Hollywood blueprint movie, it's like nothing. It's like I'm just like, okay, I give them props for doing this well, but they did this bad, whatever. I'm in this movie. I'm with it was kids and stuff, and because this movie is it's all kind of everybody was trying to see it, so it was like kids and stuff and everybody. I'm cheering with the kids, dog. I'm laughing with the soccer moms and shit. Usually stuff they find funny. I'm like, "Pfft," that shit
yeah,
ain't funny to
yeah.
me. Whatever. I'm laughing with them. I'm cheering with them, dude. This shit was. I don't know, man. I want this. I'm gonna tell you like this, without spoiling anything. This was the best comic book movie ever, and I don't think they could top it.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. Like, because I had the same experience you did. Like I'm in there, and usually when folks start laughing and cheering, I'm usually out there cringing, like, y'all know you just saw this, right?
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Especially when they
But it's
laugh
like,
at something that was on the trailer 100 times.
right, and like this is one of the first times I've seen scenes that I saw in trailers, and I was like, finally, like I actually got excited for stuff I knew was coming.
And you know what? Kudos to Marvel for holding back on the trailer,
Yeah,
because when I remember when we first saw the trailer for Endgame, and I was kind of disappointed, but then I was mixed on there because I was a little disappointed because we didn't get no footage or just some clips or something. I wanted to just get a little something, and they didn't give us nothing. And you know why? Because they couldn't have, because it would have spoiled it. And
yeah,
then you got the people, they would have picked it apart. Oh, this means this means that, And no, they was like, look, do you trust me? And he was like, well, you haven't let me down yet. Do you trust me? Yeah. And I got you.
I think the only thing for me, like without spoiling anything, was like all the fan theories, like of folks that went through and like picked apart every single scene and digitally analyzed them and everything. It's like, so you can see here that this scene isn't really happening. And then when you see the movie and it's actually in there and it's actually happening, like, what was y'all talking about then?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why trailers have become a little toxic, because it's fun to react to them, it's fun to look at them, but now it's, what the movie gonna be about just by the trailer, And sometimes some movies, your trailer is better than your goddamn movie. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like if you'd have watched that trailer, you got everything you needed right there.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for holding back on that trailer, man. And I was like, you just had to go in this movie on trust. But they built that trust though over the years. So I feel like this, if anybody could have done that, could just have you see a movie on their word alone, would be Marvel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because I remember when we did our BVS and Justice League reviews, like our whole thing was Marvel could do what they do because they took the time to build the trust, to build that overarching narrative to get there. So when they put out a movie like this, you're not sitting there like, oh, how is this supposed to work? You know it's gonna work.
Yeah, I know, and I'm trying not to bring up DC or Warner Brothers.
Sorry,
but I was no. I was just thinking if they would just, if Warner Brothers would just let DC alone, and then maybe they can't do nothing like this, but maybe they could have done something.
Yeah,
but
it starts with putting in the work.
Right. So okay, so we can't really, like I said, we can't talk about specific plot details without spoiling it. So I can tell you about some of the characters that you know is in it, how they made me feel, how the performances. So we knew Steve Rogers in there, and I'm gonna tell you like this, Captain Chris Evans. I'm gonna tell you like this: if you didn't like Captain America before, he's like one of my favorites right now.
Yeah. Like, I know growing up, I never cared about it at all.
I always did like Captain America though. Growing up, I liked I liked Captain America comics or whatever. I like Captain America, but in the MCU, Captain America was not my favorite, but it was still good. But what I'm saying is, I always complained about his strength level not being explained, like how he always pretty much gets stronger in every movie, and they don't really explain that. But I'm so cool with it in this movie because I needed him to be strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was good with it. So,
like, also, it wasn't like, because, so many times, like, they'll show someone who can do stuff he can't do, not being able to handle situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then he come out of nowhere and he handles it like it's nothing.
Right. And I really like where they went with this character, man. Even how he was handling his loss after the, what they call it, the decimation.
The decimation.
Right. After the decimation, each character handled it a different way. And how he handled it, I was like, oh, that's perfect for him. Like what he was doing, that's something he would do, because that's
100%.
Right. And it ain't even nothing physical. What he was doing is something he could do just by being himself. So I was like, okay, I really like that. So, A+ for Chris Evans and Captain America character, man. Even his humor, he had some of the funniest humor in the movie too. Which I'm not gonna go there to the spoilers, but he said he had said something so funny to me, man. I was like,
but like, especially because it's like he said what we were all thinking, but didn't really want to say.
No, he said something that I wasn't thinking, but he caught me off guard when he said it. I was like, they going out with they going ham with this.
Because I think we were both probably waiting for that moment in this movie. So he always gets a moment like that, and it's like for him to wonder, like, you know what? But yeah, man, he was that.
Yeah, so the humor was on point too, man. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna bring up that character later, but I was gonna throw something out, but I was like, I'll bring that up later. So okay, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, how she's dealing with it. Uh, what you think of her, man?
I finally seen her remote now.
Yeah, yeah. No, she never was bad as old Brie Larson though. So I'll at least
Yeah,
say at least Scarlett Johansson is a good actress. I
yeah,
just think they didn't have too much to do with they didn't have too much to do with her character.
yeah,
She kind of just like a springboard for other people to do shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I felt a lot of emotion with her. You know, I've said, and it's kind of funny. I never think of her as like the mother type, but they kind of got her in. You know what I'm saying? I felt her kind of like the mother, kind of trying to hold things together, kind of. Which
yeah.
you never think of her like that. Um,
And it's a really interesting way to use that character too. Scarlett
mhm.
Johansson aside, because like you said, that's not the way you would see that character.
Yeah,
And they managed to write it in such a way that it works.
yeah. That's why I said it worked, and I thought it was I thought it was well written. Instead of just having her trying to be this super spy, cool all the time, always got something funny to say. No, it was a lot of emotion. It was a lot of jokes over. It
Yeah,
ain't nothing funny right now. You know what I'm saying? So I actually like what they did with Black Widow and we got we got Thor, and we'll talk about Thor later.
yeah,
Uh, and and then Rocky Raccoon actually held his weight. He was actually had a lot of funny lines.
oh yeah,
That's why I was like, how is he going to get along with the rest of the Avengers or whatever? He fit right in. He always had something funny to say, which actually he kept the comic relief going without being
yeah.
too overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? It was actually kind of
It's
perfect for the comic relief.
definitely, and especially because like you're in a situation where your usual sources of comic relief aren't there. You
Uh-huh.
know, and it gave you something different than what like say someone like Paul Rudd is bringing.
Exactly. You know what? Perfect. Because Paul Rudd, which I was going to talk about him, he was he's always the idiot brother.
Yeah,
He's funny because he don't know none of the shit. Why are you here? you know, it's like it's always why are you here? Oh, he's the audience. No, he's not Avatar for me. I ain't that stupid. You know what I'm saying? As I might not know none of the superhero shit, but I ain't no dumbass. So he's
like
not Avatar
I
for me.
think not to spoil anything that's going on around it, but there's a scene where he's sitting outside trying to eat a taco. That scene perfectly encapsulates what his role is in this movie.
and what
It's
happened?
like,
And what happened after that? What happened after that is perfect for the way everybody feel about him.
yeah, absolutely. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that's him.
But no, so we know Scott Lang is there. He's being consistent. Um, Paul Rudd is being consistent of playing
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much the idiot brother. Uh, and War Machine, James Rose is what he always is, a sidekick.
yeah,
You want to move on? Okay.
yep. I'm good.
No, I mean it ain't too much to say. Don Cheadle, he's a good actor, but they never gave him more to
Yeah,
be.
like
He's only
it.
support. That's his only
Yeah,
role. He cannot do nothing else but a support guy. Um,
yeah. Because even when he's out there doing damage, it's like, okay, no, I know he said we can move on to some realness.
right. I mean, that's the way they wrote that guy. Like, do he got a wife and kid? Do he got a girlfriend? Do he got a life? Who cares?
It
Because
ain't important. That's Iron Man
exactly,
sidekick. We
they
don't care.
never give him no chance to see who he is. So that's what you think of War Machine, which you're not nothing without Tony Stark anyway. I guess you got some upgrades on your suit or whatever. He
I
never
mean,
really did too much. I ain't gonna get to what
I'm
happened.
still like, because like you know my stance, but I'm still trying to figure out in a world where Tony Stark can build all these Iron Man suits, why does War Machine still have bullets? You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, that's his thing. Where I'm saying, like, I got guns, I got Gatling guns, and you have the
yeah,
repulsor array. So that's kind of like his thing. So that's just his identity, even though he don't need it. But
yeah,
I would keep the bullets myself. I'd be like, man, I need something different. I feel you. But
fair
he
enough.
still ain't cool. He
Yeah,
always had the coolest looking suit to me when I first seen him, and I found out it was a black dude in there, so I was like, let me follow this guy. And when I started following him, I was like, man, this dude is not an alpha. He's definitely a beta, and I'm not, and I'm cool.
like even back in the day when him and Tony Stark had the matching Jerry curls, man.
All right, let's move on because I do not want to talk too long about him. So War Machine, what he always is, a sidekick, support guy. So I
Yeah,
mean, and then you got Nebula was still alive, and you know what, dude, this movie made me feel this movie made me really care for Nebula, and I never
yeah,
thought I would give two shits about that character. And that should show you how good this writing is. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well, like 'cause they regularly do that to you. Like, how was Loki ever supposed to become a fan favorite? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's like they can write a character and the character won't be necessarily all that likable, but by the time they're done telling you where they come from, why they are the way they are, I was like, damn.
yeah, I know. So okay, that's all. That's all your characters, and they have to. Well, so let's talk about where we left off on Affinity War. Affinity War, they, which I should have started a review off with this, but anyway, Infinity War. Thanos snapped the fingers on the gauntlet and took out half the population. And so let's just say what everybody was thinking. Well, all they need to do is find this motherfucker and get him back, and then they can snap their fingers. It's not that easy.
No. I
I
mean,
mean, and I'm not spoiling nothing. I'm just saying that's what people's mindset was. At the
yeah.
end of that movie, this is what y'all can do. You know, and like I said, it's not that easy. So picking up where Infinity War left off, you knew that. And Captain Marvel. So you knew Captain Marvel once he sent the signal out to Captain Marvel, she's gonna show up. And I'm gonna say this: I actually like how they use Captain Marvel
Yeah.
because I, you know, we was feeling like, oh, well, they gonna have her swoop in, save the day, because she's supposed to be so powerful and better than everybody, swoop in, save the day, and that wasn't the case, And I'm not trying to spoil nothing, but let's just say it didn't go it didn't go like you thought it was for Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Like it wasn't the curb stomp we thought we was gonna get.
Right. But she still was had a big role, a big part in the what happened, but it wasn't the end game. No pun intended. She wasn't the end game.
Okay,
So okay, so we talk about the characters. Oh, and then you know what? Let's not forget Bruce Banner. I really
yeah,
like what they did. It's first, and I'm not gonna say what they did with him, but it's the first time that I actually like Mark Ruffalo in this role. I never liked Mark
I'm
Ruffalo. I'm one of
yeah.
the people that actually like Edward Norton. A lot of people don't agree with me, but I like Edward Norton as Bruce Banner. And I ain't gonna say I didn't like Mark Ruffalo. I just it didn't seem like he never fitted. Because
Yeah.
every time everybody do like some smart comments and stuff, he jump in with a joke, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? What you about to
Because I
say?
think part of the thing with him is he's like, if Bruce Banner was just a dude, he'd be Mark Ruffalo.
Right, and that's fine. It's just when they get together and start doing daily banter or whatever, he never fits in. and then
No.
it seems like, and that's fine if you don't because you ain't got to fit in because that was kind of the mistake with Josh Reading writing where he kept trying to make everybody like Tony Stark. And
Yeah.
that's when people started to be like, okay, this is a little too quippy. You know, everybody got a quip. Everybody jumping. You know, everybody don't talk like that. That's Tony Stark thing. You know, so that was kind of the the downfall. And the thing is, he didn't fit in that scenario. And then when they and it's and like even in Infinity War, when he kept on trying to be funny, it was cringeworthy to me because he didn't work. They had kind of stopped the movie for him to do it. They was like they gave him the stage to do a joke, and it was a bad joke. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was like, all right, everybody, Mark Ruffalo with the joke, and it was a corny joke. You know, and I was like, okay, no.
I mean, but the movie, it felt like the movie was even like responding to that as like, really? That's what you got?
Right, and it's cool, but it didn't go. It wasn't like horrible, but it just didn't fit. So I think they noticed that, and what they did something with Mark Ruffalo to make him more, just make him fit, and you know what? It worked. It definitely worked for me.
Because I'm not gonna go into what they did. It's just like for folks that read Hulk comics, like back during the whole Doc Green situation, they basically pulled that.
Wow, you're not gonna get into what they did, but you just basically said it.
I mean, I ain't gonna get into detail. It's like,
come on, man. All right, let's just move on, man.
How many people were you sharing the theory with?
Spoilers anyway. What?
How many people were you sharing the theater with who knew who Doc Green was?
Man, but anybody to see this?
I'm just saying.
Oh man, my stream ain't on.
Well, then we're fine.
Why the fuck it's not streaming? It's recording though. That's some bullshit. Hold on.
Well, then you can edit that out.
No, it's fine. It's fine. A lot of people don't know what that is. Huh. Oh man, you know what? I'm streaming on the other channel. God damn it. I'm just gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap this up here and I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna put the spoiler discussion on the other channel. So this on the sports channel, matter of fact.
I mean, it was the sporting event of the century.
Okay, but I'm just going ahead and wrap it up. Look, first of all, this I'm gonna give this movie a rating. I'm gonna give this movie an all right because I'm bullshitting. So anybody know my rating scale? It goes from an epic to a hot garbage. Epic is being the best. This movie is without a shadow of a doubt, epic. Epic. I give it 3 epics. Because I'm tell you like this. This movie had me feeling emotions. I was so excited. I was on the edge of my seat. I was cheering with the little kids. I damn near cried at the end because it's something that's fit very deserving for a character. And I'm not gonna say what, but it's something that happened that damn near made me cry, and this movie was epic on so many levels. I don't see this happening again from no other movie because you got to lay a lot of groundwork to do something like this. What do you give it?
You know what? I give it a solid gold epic. This movie, man, it was like the perfect, way to pay homage to the entirety of, this franchise.
Yes.
Like between just being so beautifully made and all the like excellent callbacks to the other movies, it's like stuff that easily couldn't be a callback, but if you've been on this ride this whole time, and it's like it hits something in you, it tugs at the heartstrings a bit, so like, I'm usually, stone hearted when I go to see movies. I'm sitting there like, man, come on, man. Like folks are getting embarrassed to sit next to me and stuff.
Yeah, man,
this movie got me, man.
It's one of the movies that you can just, as a matter of fact, when people that's fans of this movie, you sitting with other fans, y'all will be instantly friends because the movie is on so many levels of getting all your emotions out. You know what I'm saying? So definitely epic, epic around the board, no doubt. And I'm gonna wrap up this regular discussion. I'm gonna wrap up the review, and we're gonna jump into a spoiler discussion. And I will be doing it on the other channel. I messed up. Sorry. If anybody watching, I got Epic Entertainment Critics where I will be doing a spoiler discussion on. All right. Appreciate you for checking us out. Peace.